In this video, it's the brand new Hosim 10th scale 4-wheel drive big old monster truck truggy thing. We've got the 3100 kV motor. We've got metal gears that hopefully don't spark when you use them. Fun black body. Looks like we might have some LEDs up front. We've got the oil-filled shocks. We've got the 2600 milliamp battery times 2 of them. And we got, of course, the brushless ESC. Let's get this thing out of the box and see what it looks like. Big now. Typically, when these more budget-oriented brands say that their vehicle's 10th scale, usually it's a little small, but honestly, that looks like it's basically the exact same size as like Armagranite. That thing, that is quite nice. In this little bag, we have an instruction manual that tells us a little bit about how to drive the vehicle, troubleshooting. There you go. Always very good. Part numbers, diagrams. So if you break something, you have some ability, some kind of guidance for how to get the parts and what and how to put it together. This little bag, Hosim typically has like a little brush and a little stuff like that inside of it for helping you to clean the truck. How you can get a hold of the company and both all the different kinds of social medias in case you have any issues. Have a USB battery charger. This is honestly not very useful, and if you do get one of these, one of the first things you want to do is get an upgraded charger. Some spare body clips, some little screwdrivers, little nut to take the wheels off, and then look at that. Yep, a wing. We're probably going to want to put that on there. One, they just look cool. Two, they help protect the body and stuff. Ooh, the truck itself, this thing's got some heft to it. That is not just a lightweight thing right there, but we'll get to that just a little bit more. There is the controller, very basic model, some different trims, some different reverses. You're gonna need 4 AA batteries to get it up and running. So then the truck itself, tires, we've seen these tires before, previous Hosim 10th scale models, those look the same. The body actually looks roughly the same. We have a LED strip here on the front. On the bottom here, this is a metal plate. Plastic chassis with the reinforcement rib on the inside. Control arms that look like they're universal side to side. So if you get a pair of fronts, they can swap. The rears are different, but they're the same side to side. So you can have some spares that way. Oosh, that is some stiff suspension. So it is oil filled, but wow, that is stiff. Body still has its plastic coating on it. That's just kind of to help protect it in shipping. In order to get it the rest of the way off, 1, 2, 3, 4 screws here on the bottom releases these plastic panels, and then you can get that the rest of the way off. Underneath here, a lot of this is looking familiar. We've tested a previous iteration of this vehicle, 2-in-1 receiver and ESC in one unit. Some big crisscross strapping down here. They really don't want these batteries to disappear. And there's 2 different LiPo batteries that are there. They have the T or Dean style connector on them, which is very common. It makes it easier as you go to upgrade to maybe a better charger. If you only run one battery, a lot of times you can get away without having to have the cross strap, which is quite nice. Brushless motor, it's a 3100 kV sitting up here. And the big deal that we need to test with this model, I just had its previous iteration not that long ago, and what happened is almost immediately as drove it, stripped the gear mechanism that's out in here, stripped out that rear differential gear. And so what I'm going to be very curious about is we're going to stick some power in this thing, we're going to drive it. Does those upgraded gears that they've put in there, they claim, they saw the issue that we had, that others were having with these gears stripping, and that they have updated them. Well, we are going to put that to the test. Full metal drive shafts, everything. We're gonna see just how strong it is. Putting the wing on here is actually pretty straightforward, and I kind of like how they do it. It's kind of a captured wing design. You stick it in that rear shock tower, and then these screws go down through the shock tower, through the wing. All right, batteries plugged in. Servo works. Woo! That Feels like a pretty decent amount of power. Whoa! Ooh, landed. All right, here's about full throttle. Well, we're back on the workbench way too prematurely. If you see a turn left, that's about how much steering angle I get. That's all I get to the right. It's not doing anything. Let's see if we can figure out. Oh my gosh, so something in the servo just died. So if I go left, I have movement left. If I go right, it comes up against something right there. If we unplug it, we can, from the wheel side, confirm the wheels have movement. But if you notice the servo horn's still not moving, I'm just flexing the servo saber. If I get a pair of pliers, I can turn it past, but you feel like clunk, clunk. Something in that servo broke. Now we fast forward just a little bit. New servo came in the mail, easy to order straight from the Hosim shop. 4 screws here on the top when the servo physically comes out. This one plugged, plus the 1 screw for the servo horn itself right here in the middle. Now what you'll notice is I have everything plugged in, powered on, in order to make sure that the steering works. Servo moves great, but you have to do that and then center the wheels before you put the servo horn on. Otherwise, so you have to have everything powered up and centered before you put the servo horn on. Otherwise, you'll end up maybe with it not centered, way off to one side or the other. Now we just put the final screw back in with a little bit of Loctite, and we're in good shape. We come through and pull a wheelie. Oh, that's not awesome. The truck is clearly big enough. The grass and stuff is just going to be fine for it. Let's head backyard to the jump and see what happens. Oh, I love the slap wheelie. Oh, I don't know. Should we try to go for a backflip? Maybe we should. Whoosh. Oh yeah, it pulled it. It pulled the backflip. Yeah, I just hit myself. Yes I did. Nice. Oops. Made it. Alright, I wouldn't do my friend proud unless I at least tried a front flip, so let's see what happens. Ooh, that was off axis. Oh, that was absolutely perfect. Ooh, that was bad. That was worse. Oh, it is cold out there today. So we are back in here. Cold weather tends to break parts, and I was starting to get a little wild with the front flips and all that. So back in here before I needlessly break this car. Speed was good. I could see a more advanced user maybe wanting 3S in it, which I believe it can handle based on previous tests. But durability was good. That servo, you know, we had to replace the servo, but obviously it must have been like a manufacturer's defect because this one took some hits and some crashes and came back for more. So it's not just like a design flaw, it was just like a one-off manufacturing defect. I've looked the truck over. Control arms are fine, hubs are fine. Had a couple nasty crashes where the wing really took the damage. If I'm honest, I think at this scale and for what this is meant for, that's really what the design of the wing is. It's kind of like a bumper for the rear of the truck. But front bumper took a couple hard hits and it is dirty and scraped up, but it is in great shape. Same for the wing. It's a little bit bent up, I think. And I've looked at it, I don't see where the bend is, so I think it's just in general flex of this whole thing. You see how much it can move. But the wing, I think, at the end of the day, is doing its job, which is taking some impact so that the rest of the truck doesn't. So I think it was doing what it needed to do there. Still, I would say, same as when I reviewed the previous version of this truck, this little 380 motor in here can work just fine. But what I'm going to suggest is that as you run it a bunch, you need to watch the temperatures on this. Potentially putting a fan on it longer term can be good. You know, this is a situation where the truck's probably small enough that a 380 is okay, but if you're really heavy on the throttle, if you're in really tall grass, that kind of stuff, the torque from a bigger motor in here would be really, really helpful. Very cold day out there, and I can easily hold my hand on the motor. It's not hot right now, but you can tell that it's clearly been working. It's definitely not as cold as everything else around. Final note about this truck, though, current list price that I see it for on Amazon, $219 with a $30 coupon. So that puts it basically at $190, $189.99. So for that, just shy of $200. For the $190, is this the best basher that you can get? Is this the one that you want? And I think that honestly, it's a pretty good choice. It just depends on how wild and how crazy and how much room to grow you want. This truck will never really have many upgrades available for it or anything like that. It's going to be this truck, you're going to run it, you're going to have fun with it, and then at some other point in time, you know, you will eventually upgrade or move on or do something different, and that is completely fine. But there's a lot of trucks in this kind of price point. That includes some of the cheaper like ARMA vehicles like the Gorgon and the Fury that are kind of all around this price range and will have much more in the way of like upgrade parts and maybe an upgrade path. But you gotta note, like, those are brushed, some of those come with batteries and chargers, some of those don't. So this is dramatically more complete and brushless and four-wheel drive, where those are two-wheel drive, all for basically the same price. So if you're just looking for simple fun, this may be a great choice. If you do want to see information about some of the other vehicles that are out there on the market, I have a whole vehicle reviews playlist. It'll be popping up over here to your right. If you want to buy this one, there'll be a link in the video description. And if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer as many as I can. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.